In fact, let's take the discussion on markets forward with Sunil Shah also joining us now on the show. Sunil, of course, is a veteran fund manager and has worked with some of the very prominent names in the industry. Sunil, afternoon. Have you looked at the scheme of arrangement at Reliance Industries just for the sake of understanding the business model, their foray in geofinancials and the way the stock has been? Geofinancial, of course, value will be decided, but will you look at it later?
Yeah, sure, Ajay. Hi, thanks for having me on the show. I clearly, meaning this is a big step from the entire group of Reliance Industries. Having been successful on the retail and the telecom piece, they have really got on the retail side of the country's demand significantly. And as a country, as we progress, from about $2,800 per capita to about $5,000 over the next 6 year journey, I think finance itself is going to be a big part of Indian consumer spend. Leverage and borrowing is no longer, a bad word or something like that. So as a country's per capita increases, finance is going to play a big role. And with tech penetration already there in everybody using mobile internet, etc., I think Reliance is going to use the data bank that they have on both retail as well as the telecom to penetrate finance and do much better. So Bajaj Finance, which is like a 4.5 lakh crore market cap, maybe it took about 8-10 years for them to really do a lot of things on the fintech side. And that is set a platform for Reliance to get into now. So I think it's going to be very interesting. The space will see a lot of product suits come for the consumers, and Reliance, given its strength and the way in which they do businesses, I think finance will see a lot of new things going forward. So it's a journey which would be very interesting. And at about market's expectation of about 160 rupees or so, the market cap could be about 1,20,000 crores, which by no means is a small number, but interesting journey. Good. I think finance will see a lot of new things getting rolled out over the next couple of years for sure. So we'll have to see how it plays out.
Should be part of the portfolios for the next 3 to 5 year period, right? Geofinancials.
Yeah, geo financials is going to be interesting. A core part, a certain percentage of the portfolio can be allocated. Given the track record of Reliance to do both retail as well as telecom, which has been a very, very successful journey for them. Even in the finance, I think they will do a lot of good things. And they've got the best of the people to manage this entire business. Mr. Kamath, with his stature and his experience, will certainly bring in a lot of good, positive things on the geo finance side. So, yes, a certain percentage of the portfolio can be allocated to this company going forward.
We are also observing today what is happening is that the power value chain is getting lapped up and getting re-rated. Right from the generators like NTPC 13-year high, just a while back we saw Inox and Suzlon get excited, even power and cable companies. So this entire value chain of power sector in India getting re-rated. Which part are you most bullish on?
Yeah, Ajay, so this entire power sector, which is like about, almost 415,000 megawatts, the incremental power demand, which is about 25,000 megawatts every year, all of that is coming from the renewable space. Now, in renewable space, the cost of setup is come down dramatically. The time lag to set up the renewable plant has reduced considerably from the past. So this makes a win-win, meaning post the power generation, the maintenance is low. All those factors clearly indicate that renewable is the place to go. There is something like a Suzlon, which is not one of the best stocks liked by the markets, but there are inherent changes which are happening in the company. So I think the new 3 megawatt power plant that they have installed, the windmill, has really taken off from the customer side. From an order book position of about 900 megawatts as of March 23, the order book of the company has increased to almost 750 megawatts just in the 2-3 months of the financial year. So I think Suzlon can be one on the wind power which is there. You have Inox Green, which is going to be the operation and maintenance company for all this wind power, wind turbine, etc. So there we will see a massive turnaround. So I think wind energy is going to be very, very interesting. Suzlon would be on the power generation side, Inox Green on the O&M side. So I think both these companies will be the ones which could really turn around. You also have a Wari Energy, which is still not listed, but it's one of the biggest player on the solar power generation space. So Ajay, I would try to look at the entire transition of energy from the fossil fuel to the renewable, which is going to be the next big thing for the next 4 or 5 years. It's going to be a clear, visible trend which will emerge. So these are the companies I think one should look at on the renewable energy is what I would say, Ajay.
Right. Apart from that, what else is looking interesting on risk to reward matrix to you? Because the fact of the matter is that market has run up quite a lot, but the way earnings are, the way flows are, there's a school of thought that a new cycle is also starting. So, what else are you researching and looking at very closely from risk reward perspective?
Sure. Ajay, so two pockets come to my mind. Electronic manufacturing services. That's really taken off in the country right now with the PLI scheme. Companies have also got a foothold in the business, and there is a huge electronic demand spend, which is going to happen. And as I stated, as a country, we progress from the 26, $2,800 per capita to like 4.5 to $5,000. The spend is going to be in electronics and manufacturing in electronics, which is, let's say, the Dixon of the world and the Ambers, the Havels, the Canes, they will participate in this entire. So, an ecosystem is going to develop. The way in which, Maruti, when it came almost 40 years back, we have seen the entire auto system, the auto ancillary system develop. Similar things will happen in the electronic manufacturing space where we are currently doing a lot of labor intensive work. But one by one, we'll be making all those things in the country, and as an assembly unit, that will do very well. So that is one of the themes which I think will do interesting over the next 4 or 5 years. Another which I think will be is the ONDC, which is your Open Network for Digital Commerce. Now, this movement, to my mind, will be as important as an Aadhaar card or a UPI in the country because it will set a platform for the retail customer, the retail last mile shop to go and sell its product online without sharing any parts of the profit. So I think ONDC will really kick off big time in the country. And the players there, I think, will be Control Print and maybe a PTM. These two companies, to my mind, could be big beneficiary of the ONDC opportunity. So it's electronics manufacturing and ONDC, which have a long runway of growth. And I think both these pockets are still under research. There are still few players who are there. And we'll have to keep our eyes and ears open as to who really emerges and pick up those ideas. So that's a thought process over there in terms of various sectors which look good.
Sunil, a quick word on Reliance. Do you track that? It's been a most underperforming stock in the Tata Group space, as well as has not done a whole lot in agrichem because of its own challenges in that space. But it appears that Rekha Jhunjhunwala is trimming shareholding there. But at the same time, people are taking note of Mr. Bhatt, who's come there, leadership. We've already seen what he has done at Titan. Would you be a buyer in Reliance?
Yeah, interesting times for rallies. It's one of the most neglected stock in the markets. The change of hands, from Ms. Rekha Jhunjhunwala and Tata Group itself buying that 5% stake. So that really is coming on the checklist points to watch out for. As you correctly stated, Mr. Bhatt has a super track record of delivering, and he has come at the helms now. So I think rallies is a one to watch out for. We'll have to understand the strategy which is going to be rolled out. And agrochemicals is the space where there will be demand. There are a lot of things. Rallies, to my mind, is clearly a neglected one. The change of hands and Tata buying that 5% from Ms. Rekha Jhunjhunwala. So that's very, very interesting because I haven't come across Tata Group buying their own company share amongst their entire bouquet for a long period of time. So inherently, this is one of the screeners which I keep on running, in which promoter buying a stake significantly, and which I need to deep dive into to form an analysis and conclusion. So we are at that first stage where it is meeting that requirement. Certainly, and as you stated, 10 years is nothing has happened big time in the company. So it's on the watch list, it's on the radar, and it's something that one has to probe into. Certainly a good stock to really watch out for now.
Right. All right, that's interesting indeed. We'll take a short break before